Welcome to the Fatherhood Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Pluff. Each week, we will cover various topics that dads struggle with in their fitness journey. I'll give you actionable steps that you can apply right away, not only to take back control of your own health, but so you're able to be a better example for your kids too.
One of the things that I've been learning a lot about recently, and I say recently, probably the past year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, is stewardship. And I think a lot of times when we hear the word stewardship, we immediately think of finances. We're stewards of, the money, that's been entrusted to us, and it's our job to make sure that, we're using it for good, and it's been given to us, and we have a choice on how to use it and where it should go. But I think if we look at our bodies, where we're stewards of the body we've been given, the life we've been given, it makes exercise and fitness and nutrition, it kind of it makes you look at things a little differently. And obviously this is definitely, if you're familiar with, the Bible, God calls us to be stewards, of what he's entrusted us with. But we don't really think about this as far as, like, our health goes. And obviously there's the Bible verse, like, your body is a temple. But I think sometimes, we can say that on a surface level here, but we do only have one. We have one life. We have one body. Obviously there's advances in science, and we can, pay for, upgrades per se. But we really only get one shot at this. And my perspective on things has really changed over the past couple of years. And one thing I've really considered is that, we are really stewards of everything we have. We don't really own anything. All of it is on loan, right? Whether you're, a believer in God like I am, or, maybe this is, a more difficult discussion for you, but no matter what you have, you can't bring it with you. When you die, that's it. You don't get to bring anything with you. The richest man in the cemetery, lies right next to the poorest man. You don't get to bring any of it with you. And I think that changes the perspective. I think I made up a word there. It changes our perspective on, how we live this life and what we have. We can strive so long for having, a great business or a great house, but then we can forget all the great things that we already have. Maybe you have young kids and you want to build a business, and you want to, take care of yourself, and you want to go to the gym regularly, and you're not where you want to be, and all these things. But 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years go by, and you didn't stop to be thankful for what you already have. When you have a body, you have an opportunity to make it something great. You have a life. You have the opportunity to do something great with it. And we can compare ourselves to others, and we can look at other people and think, we're behind. But you have one opportunity at making your life great, not somebody else's. We don't all have the same assignment here on earth. We all we're running our own race per se. Very cliche, but it's true. We all have our own race. We all have, where we need to go. We can't look at somebody else's. If you imagine you're running the 100-meter dash, and you're constantly looking left and right, left and right, left and right, it's going to slow you down. And you're probably not going to win your race. But if you keep your eyes on the finish line, keep your eyes in your lane on what you're supposed to do, you're going to be okay. And you're going to give yourself a much better chance. You may not be as successful. You still may not win that race, but you're going to be able to give your best effort in the lane that you were assigned. And I think that's really important because even the people you surround yourself with, I mean, there's tons of books and studies and research and all these things about how the people you surround yourself with, the five most important people, that's who you're most likely to be like. But even then, they still have their own assignment. They still have their own race. They're still doing their own thing. And when we focus on other people, it takes time away from what we were called to do. And we have so much opportunity in this life, right? It doesn't matter where you start. Some people have it much more difficult. Not everybody has the same starting point, but you can maximize what you've been given, right? If you started at level 1 and you ended up at level 7, that is incredible progress. Now compare if you started at level 5 and you ended at level 7. You're still at level 7, but you could have done so much more, right? The person who started at level 1 had everything against them. And that's what we do a lot of times. We look at the people who start way ahead of us or way behind us and we think, oh, we're doing really great. Oh, we're not doing great at all. But that's not what we're meant to do. We're meant to run our race. We're meant to maximize the life that we've been given. And when we look at our bodies as something that we have been given, that we've been entrusted with to take care of, you may not look like Liam Hemsworth or Chris Hemsworth, from Thor. You may never look like that. And that's okay. Maybe you weren't supposed to. You may never look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. And that's okay. But if you show up every day trying to get just a little bit better, to maximize the life you've been given, to be the best husband, to be the best father, to be the best worker, to be the best provider for your family, that's what's important. You're not meant to be somebody else. You're meant to be the best version of you.
That concludes this episode of the Fatherhood Fitness Podcast. Thank you for those of you who took time out of your busy schedules to listen. If you have any questions or comments or an idea for a topic for a future episode, please feel free to reach out, and I'd love to hear from you.